In this video we'll visit not just 1, 2 or 3, but 4 beautiful locations in North and Northeastern Iceland that I have never visited before, showing that this part of the country is indeed underestimated as a photography destination.
I think it's worth it. Incredible light. I'm literally on top of the world. So right now we are in this beautiful valley in Iceland, which I have never been in before. And well, the scene is just so picturesque. You can see here in the background we have this pointy mountain. We have a little wispy clouds on top. Let's see if we can't get something out of this during daylight. Also, I've never been in this valley before, so we just drove in, and instead of going up on a long hike, I really wanted to just use the foreground, which were here next to the road, and it's just this beautiful stream. So I'm just walking along the stream and trying to find some different shapes in all the in the stream where the water is like coming up and being stirred around. So I found different shapes, and those shapes will of course look different when I do a long exposure, and of course I will do a short long exposure of about half a second, 1 second. So it gives like streaks, but also blurs the water. Also, what is changing is here in the background, you can see this wispy clouds up here in the mountain also changes quite a lot. So I'm just sticking to the same composition for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and see how that cloud changes, and then I just photograph it when it's optimal. So in regard to the settings, it's pretty simple. I have it in aperture priority on f14 right now and 1 second at ISO 100. And I can get that by using my 6-stop filter and the polarizer. I think my polarizer cuts out like 1 stop, so it's basically 7 stops. And the reason why I use the polarizer is because the mountain is like 90 degrees to the sun. So all the blue sky behind the mountain is polarized light, so it darkens down the blues, and the greens are also emphasized. So yeah, it's a pretty basic, simple setup, as I always do, with a strong dramatic foreground leading up into the mountain in the background. So I could sit nice and comfy in a warm hotel room, but I absolutely have to battle through like almost the sewers of Husavik. And yes, I'm in Husavik right now, well, just north of the small town in northern Iceland. And I have come to a location with a beautiful and fairly large rock arch along the coastline. It's very beautiful. The reason why I'm here now is because it's high tide, and from all the photos I've seen, I guessed it was low tide, and there have been like a lot of seaweed in front, and I don't really like that. So I want a shot with the waves crashing against some rocks and have like an interesting foreground instead of seaweed. But yeah, well, the sky is gray, so I'm not sure that it's completely optimal. But let's see what happens. So the hardest part at locations like this one here is to show scale, and I have to admit, I think I will have to give up on that today, because I'm all alone and I do not like to have my camera this close to the sea when waves are coming in, and then try to walk over here. Also, there's water between me and the arch, so nope, not gonna happen. However, I will go a little bit closer and see if I can get a really wide angle, ultra wide angle shot of the arch, and a shot I haven't seen before from here. So that will be quite interesting. So we are right now way out in the boonies, and it is just so windy and so rainy right here. So you can see I'm moving backwards because the wind comes from behind me. And yeah, it's perfect weather for what we are going to do. Going to photograph this abandoned farm here in the background, and I have seen some pretty cool pictures from there, and I'm basically just aiming for something super simple, super moody, super minimalist. And yeah, as you can see, the weather is just perfect for that. I don't know what it is with photographers and old abandoned things. Like, I like the desolate part of it, and I like, yeah, the entire mood around it. But that is one ugly house. Yeah, let's see if I can get something out of it. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. So I have walked around the house a little bit, and I've come to this composition here where I can include the wall. I actually think that one quite works. So I'm just trying to wait until there's some interesting clouds in the sky, which I can include and use in the composition. It's really about thinking holistic thing about the entire photo. So yeah, it's so wet here. This is so hard conditions to photograph in. It's like wipe the lens and then shoot, and wipe the lens and shoot, and wipe the lens. So yeah, but I think I can come away with something cool here. So I've ended up coming all the way close to the house here, putting on my 12 to 24 millimeter, and just going out all the way out on 12 millimeter, and just be like super close to the house and just like straight up. It looks actually almost the best, I think. It's minimalistic yet dramatic at the same time. This old abandoned house is almost like an old ghost house or something like that. And full credit to Cindy, who are my guest on this private workshop. It was her idea to just put on the wide lens and just go close. That's one of the things I really like about being on workshops, that sometimes you might feel a little bit like, okay, you set your mind to shooting with one specific lens, and then you just do that, and then someone else gets another idea and you try that, and it actually looks even better. So we are now at the Arctic Henge, as you can see here in the background, and they're actually constructing a bigger parking lot here. So after I release this video, probably maybe in 2020, that parking lot will be done. So yeah, you just park next to it. It's super simple to find. The henge itself, it's kind of bigger than I imagined, but that's only a good thing. It looks cool, so I'm looking forward to see how it is to photograph it. So the henge is actually much bigger than I first expected, and from what I've seen from the different pictures from here. So it's actually way more fun to photograph, I think. I thought it was only like half size of what it actually is, but I gotta admit, this place looks cool. It might be just new and set up, but it's definitely some potential for some really cool photographs. So this place is just absolutely perfect for framing. So I'm going to try a few different photos where I'm in a few different distances away from the camera. And I think I have to go all the way back, but let's see to it. Beautiful place. So I have tried a little bit of everything, and I think my favorite photo is probably the wide angle, where I just have like the entire henge all around and myself there in the middle, and a big dramatic moody sky in the background. So this is such a cool place. Definitely if you're in northern Iceland, go here. I think it will be amazing. I have seen some photos, amazing for sunset or sunrise, especially during well, all year round, because it's like round, and it also works really well for northern lights. So yeah, definitely worth visiting this place. Beautiful.
If you want to go to Iceland on your own, be sure to get my digital map with all the locations featured in my videos. It's very easy to use with Google Maps, and I update it whenever I release a new video with new locations. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Northeastern Iceland. If you enjoyed the video, I'd highly appreciate both a like and a comment, and be sure to check out my other videos.